So I'm just going to go a little bit more into depth as to like what specific classes debate really helped us on, as well as Aaron will go into how debate really helps college admissions, as well as maybe summer program admissions. So first, starting off with English, debate mainly, especially like public forum and Lincoln Douglas, really helps students develop a sort of improvisational writing as well as speaking skills, which is extremely important in English, primarily because the majority of what you're graded on is improvisational speaking and writing. Unlike middle school, a lot of English writing assignments are done solely in class. You only have 40 minutes, and typically you don't really know when you're going to write. The teacher will just come in and say, hey class, we're doing a writing assignment today. So that's where like the improv skills really come into handy, because you're able to think on the spot and utilize those 40 minutes and write a good essay. Second, I'm not too sure if younger students are familiar with this, but English class also has these things called fishbowls, where the teacher selects a couple of students to speak in front of the class in sort of like an argument discussion. And that's really helpful because sometimes students bring up new arguments, or arguments you haven't prepared for, and you're sort of, because you're in the discussion, you're expected to answer or come up with some sort of answer, and debate has really helped us sort of think quick on our feet, and as Selena said, like get better grades in English. And in general, 9th, 10th, and I think as well as a bit of 11th grade, writing focuses a lot on argument and convincing people, which is a lot of what debate and speech is. You're meant to get up there on the stage and convince people why you're right. And because a lot of our writing in English class specifically focuses on this, but the teachers never really teach it in class, you're just sort of expected to know it, it's really important to develop these skills beforehand so that you already have sort of this advantage over your peers when you're trying to get good grades in English. And second of all is history class. A lot of history is like taught the same way, where it's like memorization. You're not really meant to understand events or not really understand how events connect to each other. And for example, like for me, history before debate was a lot of just like learning history. Like I didn't really care about the history, but now after debate, because I'm sort of forced to read the news every day, or like follow up on what's happening right now in the US as well as outside of the US, like history classes become significantly easier for me because I understand what events have happened in the past and how they connect to what's happening right now. As well as the fact that a lot of history essays are argument style. If any of you are planning to take AP histories, a lot of those focus on argumentative writing, especially in the document-based questions as well as the long essay-based questions, which is really helpful if you have. And also, not really listed on here, you wouldn't see the connection as much, but it also helps a little bit with science. I know specifically one of the public forum resolutions this year was about single-use plastics, which connects a lot to recycling and climate change, which is what we learn in perhaps like environmental science or like some sort of chemistry class, which does sort of increase your understanding as well as like between subjects as well as within subjects. So now I'll hand it off to Eric.